Hello again guys, and welcome to another video. I thought in this video I'd show you how I've been drawing in some freckles. Fairly easy to do and the video shouldn't be too long. As you can see, I've got quite a long way to go yet to finish this off. All this hair is going to take me probably another month, so I might do a video on that as well. If I run through the pencils quickly, what I'll be using, I've got Fossil Grey, and I'm using Derwent Lightfast again, so just need to find an equivalent to what I use if you don't use them, but I will put in the description all the pencils that I used so you can match them up to the same ones that I'm using. So I've got Fossil Grey, Cinnamon, Natural Brown, Heather, and I'm not going to use that one actually, a Mars Violet. And I've chosen them because they're basically within this side of the face. That side of the face is a bit darker. I have used the same colours, but I've darkened them up a bit because the light's being projected from this side. So I've chosen the colours that I did the skin tones with on this side, which is fairly pinky grey, and that was used for some of the darker shadows. Depending on when you found this video as well, this might already be finished on my Instagram, so if you want to go look at that, there'll be a link in the description, so feel free to do that. It might already be done, I don't know. So let's get stuck in. So okay then guys, my first tip I've got is that always look at your reference photo so you know where your freckles are going to be, because if you just do it off the top of your head it's going to be a big mess and it won't look realistic. So I'm just looking at my reference and I'm using the Fossil Grey, which is the dominant colour pretty much down here. There is some pinky tones on top of it, but it's fairly the dominant colour. So as I'm putting this outline in, I know I can shade it out without it causing too much trouble. So what I'm going to do is literally just draw in the shapes of the freckles that I see. You just got matching, some big, some small. You can see them probably faintly there. I don't want them to. No, I don't matter. It's for the video. Right. I'll switch to a more Mars Violet so you can see what I'm doing, but stick to the Fossil Grey. I should be able to blend it out. It's just so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just going to do a few so the video is fairly short. Because this, once you know how to do one of them, the rest are just the same really. You just have to mimic the reference photo as best you can. See how I'm not like putting them everywhere. Like you can see in here, there's some big ones, some small ones. They're not too sharp, they're fairly soft, and I'm doing that because how things work with your brain, if it's too sharp, your line of sight's always going to be drawn to that point, and you want them there but you want them to be unseen at the same time. I want you focused here, that's why it's so sharp. That's why it's so sharp here. I want you to see them but not be focused on them, so that's why they're so soft. You do get some sharp freckles, but they're not really, you know, in your face kind of thing. So I'll just put in a few. I think my tooth is pretty much maxed out in this side, so that's probably why I'm struggling to get it go down, but if it does, it's no big deal. Right, so what I'm going to do now, and I forgot to add, I'm using dusky pink at the same time as the rest of the colours, so I'm going to add some dusky pink over the top of where I've been. It's going to look like a big old mess at first, but as I progress with the shading, they'll start to soften up more like that. They're not too bad at the minute. But then I'm going to use cinnamon, which is very similar to the dusky pink, but it's a bit darker. And this is just a kind of like a foundation for your actual freckles. And then I'll go back to the Mars Violet and sharpen it actually. What it is, I think I've maxed out the tooth on this cheek, so sharpen the pencil the better. It should push through that tooth a bit better. I'm only getting light, I don't want it too dark. I'm just changing the shapes as I go because I'm looking a bit generic. Lead brother. That gives you a little bit of a darker look. But as you add more colours on top, it'll soften them again. So you go with the heather. There's a really nice pinky violet colour, and you should soften them out a bit. As you can see, I'm getting that. I'm still getting that Mars Violet, but it's kind of softened it a bit, so it's just like a dark freckle. This is a very strong colour. If you push too hard, it'll just go pink, and I don't want that. My legs are breaking. Soften them all out. I don't want them sharp. Coming back in with that fossil grey again, and it'll push back the heather that I just added. Where's that go? Right, another thing that I probably should have mentioned in the beginning is a ballpoint pen rubber. You've seen me use it in the past and other things. It's really good at like lifting a topper layer off the coloured pencil, and it also blends at the same time. So I'm not rubbing them out, I'm just going light, but what it'll do is it'll soften them off even more and kind of just leave an impression, if you get what I mean. So just go over them lightly, and then you'll understand why I had it like a complete mess for a while. If you want, you can really knock some of them back and keep some of them stronger. Another colour I want to use that has disappeared. Oh, Sienna, which is kind of like this orangey colour here, and I forgot to add that in as well. This video's starting out well, isn't it? And this will give me this kind of like pinky orange hue. I'm just going to go lightly into that as well. And as you can see, you're getting more of the freckle colour now. It's nice and soft. It's not too sharp. And then it's your choice where you go from here. You can either carry on using the ballpoint rubber, or you can just carry on loading your colours up. So if you just went back to the fossil grey, you can match it better to the skin that's underneath. You can even go one step further and use like an off-white pink, this oyster colour, and push them back even more. It's your choice. I mean, it depends on your reference anyway. Like I said, on this side of the face they're pretty light, so I didn't want them too dark or too sharp. As you can see, that just knocks it back even more. It's also left a little light impression of the Mars Violet, which is, as Bob Ross says, a happy accident. But it looks soft, it looks natural, you know. And in a minute I'll add even tinier freckles and it will give more natural, so. And now I was going through, I'm just taking out things that I don't like. So it's starting to look even more natural. And then what I'm going to do now, because around the freckles you've got skin texture and you've got other really small freckles, when you add them in it makes it look even more real. So, and I'm on about these here, these little ones. So if you just do little dots like that, it's very similar to how I do skin texture. You can see this a lot on me Mass Effect drawing that I did, where he's got a lot of stubble and it's done in like a purpley blue. It's really nice, and I've just like done loads of dots and it's made a shape of skin texture, and it's the same method. If you want to go look at that, just join my Instagram and it's on there, feel free. Just keep adding dots. It doesn't make a difference because that ballpoint pen rubber, if you go too much you can just take it back. I'm obviously not going to fill all this in for the video, but the freckles go all the way down here, all the way down here. He's also got them on a forehead, as you can see up in the side. I haven't even finished the side yet because they go all the way down here as well. So for the purposes of this video, I'm just doing this little section. The dots have made it even look like even more realistic, like they're not standing alone, they're more a part of the skin, and that's the kind of look that you need to go for. And if you want, you can change it up, get the heather, and add some dots with different colours. As I've used it in here, it'll look more like skin texture, make it look even more natural. And that's what I'm going for. I'm going for more of a natural look of things. Fossil grey again. And then you can take your ballpoint pen rubber and just lightly go over the top, and it'll soften them all off. and then they become more blended out into the skin. As you can see, they look more natural, nice and soft. They look like Freckles. I mean, up close they probably look like a big mess, but when I'm done I'll zoom the camera out and then you can see like what I mean. It looks nice and natural. Now I'm going to bring in the natural brown now, which is it's like a burgundy brown. So what I'm going to do with this is just add in some dark freckles, but just be careful how I do it. I don't want to be too intense, if you get what I mean. That's what I would call too intense, but that's what the ballpoint rub, you can't say it right, the ballpoint rub it is for. You can knock it back again. So we'll put one on there. One in there. That's his eye. It's just nice. I don't think I actually added it to this side. As you can see, it's just another layer of realism. For some reason it works, I don't know why. It just does, it just... I think it's just the randomness of it all. Like, you're not being generic, you're changing your colours. Instead of everything I know how to do, I just like, taught myself over time, and I just do it and then try to explain it to you guys the best I can. As you can see, the freckles that are underneath, you know, they're still there, but they're unseen. They're kind of like a little base of it. So you write some of the dark ones in, and then you can take that Sienna, kind of lightly scribble around the outside of it. See, the freckles are starting to come together now. Just take your ballpoint pen rubber again and just very lightly soften them up so they're not too dark. It's alright in there because there's some heavy shadow, so I can get away with it well. Not really on the cheek, you can't really get away with it. You can even take this natural brown and do dots that I've been doing. Sorry if I've gone quiet, I'm concentrating. Yeah, so going back in with the heather, just add a bit of heather to it. Sound like a chef, adding salt and pepper. Ballpoint pen rubber again, slightly knock them all back. But they're still there, but they're not back. And that's what I want. Pushing a bit harder here, kind of looked a bit too much there, so I pushed it back. I'm pushing hard and taking it completely off. So as you can see, that's how you create natural freckles. So I'm going to zoom this out and show you if I don't knock the camera. So as you can see, they look real. Up close they just look like a mess, but from far away they look like freckles, and they work really well, and it's very simple to do. Just follow this method and have a go and you won't go wrong. If you like this video, please like, subscribe and comment. If you're interested in looking at my finished artwork, just click the link in the description to my Instagram. You can follow me as well if you want. Thank you very much for watching.